𝗕𝗎gy 05 is one of the most popular rubbers of all time. For over a decade, other companies have tried to offer the combination of spin, speed, and catapult effect that it produces for a lower price. And you'll be glad to know that some rubbers have come very, very close. In this video, I'll go through the best budget alternatives for this flagship rubber. Option 1. Tibhar Evolution MXP. After the release of the Butterfly Tenergy series, other companies were simply unable to match the quality of Tenergy. That was until Tibhar released the Evolution series. When this happened, many players switched from Tenergy 05 to MXP because it was so much cheaper, coming in at $45. While a lot of the pro player market still uses the Tenergy series, there are some top players that still use MXP, like Darko Jorgic and Paul Drinkel. Now I'll break down the similarities and differences in comparison to Tenergy 05. In terms of speed, it's pretty similar, although MXP does have the slight edge over Tenergy 05 because of its faster catapult effect. This could be an upside or a downside depending on what you're looking for. The extreme speed to spin ratio of the MXP does result in a much lower arc and throw angle. This means that Tenergy 05 has a bit more clearance over the net and a more loopy trajectory. As for spin, MXP doesn't quite have the dwell or the grip of the Tenergy 05, and therefore it's 10% less spinny. The low and flat arc and the extreme catapult effect of the MXP, combined with the high sensitivity of its top sheet, doesn't allow for much control in your shots. You will need decent feeling to keep the ball on the table and place it accurately. Option 2. Xiom Vega Pro. With Butterfly and Tibhar battling it out for the top spot, Xiom joined the race with the flagship Vega Pro. This rubber also took the commercial player market by storm because of its excellent and appealing price, which is $33. Many players switched to this rubber because it was just so well rounded like the Tenergy 05. In comparison to Tenergy 05, the surface of the top sheet feels even more grippy, and straight out of the package it feels almost tacky-like. This gave the rubber a strong holding effect and lots of dwell time. This is not to be confused with spin, however, because the amount of top-end spin produced still feels pretty much the same between both the rubbers. In the first session of testing the Vega Pro, it gave a very strong catapult effect, likely due to the factory tuning like MXP. But after 3 to 4 sessions, the speed reduced by 5%. This did not cause a game-changing difference and no adjustments were required. All it was that the rubber no longer had the loud popping feel. In comparison to Tenergy 05, Vega Pro is quicker in my opinion, even when the factory tuning wears off. However, the main difference between the two rubbers is the arc and the throw angle. While Vega Pro has a high throw angle, it's not quite as high as Tenergy 05. The trajectory over the net is also slightly flatter. So to say, I would give Tenergy 05 a throw angle rating of 8, Vega Pro 6.5 and MXP 4. This rubber reminds me a lot of Tenergy 80, and if I were to do a blind test, it would be very hard to tell the difference. Option 3. Butterfly Rozena. Many years after the success of the Tenergy series, Butterfly decided they need to cater to the intermediate player market. With the new tolerance technology implemented in the Rozena, developing players get a forgiving but high quality rubber with a classic spring sponge effect. While it doesn't quite have the venom of the Tenergy 05, what it does have is a lack of spin sensitivity. With this rubber, I found that I didn't have to be as precise with my angles and I could still get the ball to bounce on the other side of the table. This rubber offers a lot of dwell time and feeling because of its slightly softer sponge. While the spin production isn't remarkable, it is sufficient enough to play with spin-oriented attacking strokes. This rubber has a similar level of spin production to Tenergy 64 or MXP. Actually, during the initial testing, I expected the rubber to be similar to 𝗨𝗏 or Bryce, but the quality is still very high. This rubber is slower than Tenergy 05, but it is not at all slow, perhaps only 5 to 7% less. It's still faster than most tensor rubbers. It does come with a light pink sponge, which looks good, but if you don't like it, just use edge tape. I found that the trajectory and the throw angle was higher than MXP, but lower than Vega Pro. So nowhere near as high as 05, but not extremely low either. Contrary to the beliefs of some online reviews, I actually found the Rozena to be a bit worse for blocking than Tenergy. This was because I didn't get much dwell or grip from the top sheet, and I couldn't engage the sponge during passive blocking. On passive strokes, I felt like the ball was kind of slipping off the top sheet, which meant my blocks were passing very low to the net. Anyways, this is my opinion. You might like it for blocking. I guess you'll only know if you try. That sums it up, guys. In this video, I compared Tenergy 05 to its closest alternatives. So, if you did enjoy this video or learn something new, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe. Hopefully you can go about buying a Tenergy like robot without breaking the bank now. Cheers!